Chill. It's the Broke Ass Podcast. It's me, your host, Zini, in the building. I got my co-host, co-producer. We got Jimmy in the building.
You can just call me Greatness.
And today we here with two beautiful black business owners, Miss Pebbles and Miss Tamika. How y'all doing today?
Good. Doing good. How y'all doing?
They are the owners of 810 Studios. So I'm just gonna jump into it. So how it feel being a black woman business owner?
I'll let Tamika start that. Actually, with 810 Studios was developed off of Tamika. She is the CEO of 810 Studios, and
Okay.
I came in as her partner because she was looking for someone with my expertise, and we started rocking from there.
Okay. You might gotta talk a little bit louder.
A little bit louder.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit louder now.
A little bit louder. Yes, sir.
So Miss Tamika, how does it feel being a black business owner?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for offering to interview us. That's number one.
Okay.
No
So
problem.
we
No
really
problem.
appreciate
Anytime.
it. And
Thank y'all for coming.
yes, and it feels good being a black-owned business, a woman-owned business. There are a lot of women who are pursuing their goals, and this is just an extension of what I've already done for a couple of years in the past. But now we're actually, in a business environment. We're in a building, we're building a company, and that requires a lot of commitment, but it's been good.
Well, so what were you doing prior to this?
So for about 4.5 years, basically I have been building all of my business platforms that I was interested, in pursuing.
Like,
So number one, I built an online business with Amazon and eBay.
hey,
That was the first business that I started, flipping pallets. And then after that, I got into videography. And so we would go out.
flipping pallet.
Yes. And I actually still do that today. I have.
Like
I've
buying
been-
Hold on, turn we the Broke Ass Podcast. Can you turn it like, what is that? What's flipping pallet?
Okay, so what you do is you buy your products wholesale, and then you take those products and you load them onto these platforms, i.e. eBay, Amazon, a new one called Whatnot. I mean, there's all kinds. The old school way used to be Craigslist, but we don't really do that anymore. But those systems are pretty automated once you load your products. And so as they sell, you just package it up, mail it out. And, so that was the first business I got into. Then there was videography, and I've always, I'm a teacher, I'm a licensed ESL teacher by the state of North Carolina. But I got into videography because I started teaching online. So I learned how to edit videos and create classes and everything. But then I parlayed that into some work in the music industry. So I worked on it for a couple of years at home, and then after that, 810 Studios was born because I really wanted to be a little bit more, in the business environment.
So what's behind the name 810? Where did you come up with that from?
So the 810 comes from my house. That's my house number.
Hey, shout out
We're
18.
sitting here.
Don't tell them the street name.
Shout out 508.
Right. we're sitting here with you guys, and it started the very same way out of my home.
Right.
So when I moved into the building, I wanted to name it, 810. That's where it originated.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yes.
So how did you get? Y'all family or
Well, we
friends?
just finding out that we were family.
Hey,
But when we first met each other, we didn't know each other. She knew of me, she knew my family, but she didn't know me. Personally, and I didn't know her at all either. But we was Facebook friends. So it came with a conversation where, my grandmother started taking ill, and I know how to relocate. And I was struggling for about 4 months straight with this decision to move because I'm pulling up from my career, everything that I got going on in DMV, my children. I just wasn't ready to actually physically move, but I always had a plan. Once I retire in 20 years, I will move back.
and you said you were staying where before you moved down here?
DMV,
The DMV, DC, Maryland,
Maryland,
Virginia.
I just didn't hear DMV.
That's
Yeah.
how
I
I'm
just
from
didn't
DC
hear
at.
it. She's talking low. This is the
I'm
Broke
from the
Podcast. We don't got no mic.
DMV.
That's how real loud.
Hey, you be beating your feet?
Oh, I got
Don't take no offense, but I do not like go-go music. I will not be getting in the water.
He said I will not be getting in
I
the
can
water.
understand that. When I first got
I
out there, I
love it. I
wasn't
love
too into
it.
go-go, but I love it now, and that's how I kind of got into the business. As far as I became with my career starting out when I moved from North Carolina, up into Virginia. You know, I was from the streets, what I was doing. And luckily, God kept placing people on my way. I met a guy, shout out to Lance London, became my mentor, and he started teaching me the business aspect of marketing. You know what I'm saying? How to connect with other businesses, how to put your product out there. He said the same mentality that you know how to hustle in the streets, you take that same mentality and move this product.
Oh, you want flipping paddle? You just flip it something else. Nah, I'm long time ago.
But it taught me how to flip, so you know.
So that's what made y'all link up, or what made you link with her?
Well, actually, we was having this conversation with me relocating back home, and I was actually praying, asking God what He wanted me to do, how He was going to allow me to move, and I was doing radio for over about 12 years in DC anyway. But I took a break for about 2 years. I went through a traumatic experience in my life, and I took a break from everything. And coming through this conversation, I was like, wow, if I come back, who I'm going to connect with in order to do radio? I mean, I did this before I left home, so I wanted to come back and bring all the resources that I learned back home. And I didn't know, I'm physically driving on the highway, and here goes Tamika, and she asked me, do you still do radio?
That's how she said
To give a little bit of background as to why I asked her that. So those 4 to 5 years at my house, not only did I start the palette business, and not only did I start the videography business, but I actually started 2 online radio stations. One is Soul Compass Radio, and one is Daddy's Hip Hop Radio. Both of those stations have been online for a couple of years now, and we focus on local artists, independent artists, but we have recently, through a lot of work, been able to get music from some of the larger labels as well. And so I was looking, for assistance with being able to, get the music in, determine what we were going to play, and so I basically needed a program director. And she didn't say this, but her grandmother, she and I are like this. Always been close. And so I didn't know her, she didn't know me, but I knew her grandma. And so I had been watching her, following her. And so when I realized she was in radio, that I reached out and I said, hey, do you think this is something you can help me with? Because once I launched, actually, when I say launch globally, I needed some more assistance. There's a lot of work to do. So yeah, I reached out and she said yes.
And then it worked, because like I said, I was trying to reach out to Gilbert Bays. I was trying to find people that was here before I left. But again, that's 26 years ago. I didn't know where to begin, where to start, where to even ask these questions. And that's why I know, I had this conversation earlier with another group, that when you're in alignment with God and you have this personal relationship with God and you ask Him to order your steps and to guide you, simply she called me at the same time I was asking for the answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know that our purpose for what God has given us to do here and to help assist anybody we can with their endeavors, with their businesses. She already was here doing the groundwork. God just now connected me to her so I can do the work that I need to do. And it works hand in hand what we both got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're both women of substance.
Black women.
We're both black women, operating her. She does the videography. My degree has always been in communications and marketing. So, she made the product, I made the brand. So we work hand in hand.
Cereal and milk.
And she has. And, with anything, it'd be like y'all, I don't know y'all relationship, how long y'all know each other.
That's my brother, man.
But I know it wasn't probably always an easy way, but y'all trying to figure out ideas and put it together and how it's going to go one way. He might got one aspect, you might get another aspect. But when you learn how to work together and work off each other's weaknesses and strengths, that makes a team. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people be ready to, give up quickly. And I know for me, I have to go back with God and ask for discernment sometimes when I'm ready to be like, you know what? Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But you can't go back and question what God already gave you the answer to. So, we do a lot of, I'm glad if she wasn't a spiritual partner, our relationship probably would have been broken already. You know what I'm saying? She got that spirit of discernment.
I just have to take breaks from my
Yeah. Same here, man.
Sometimes we have to take breaks.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Ain't nothing wrong with a little break, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, but I
This
wanted
shit
to
makes
be
the
known.
grow
Yeah.
faster.
And I'm just letting that be known because today I was in an environment, in several environments where people was just ready to break off from each other, and it's not always the enemy. Anything that the enemy can break up that he knows is going to bring substance, it's going to help his people, it's going to raise people up, it's going to change people, you're going to develop other people. He don't want us to do that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? He does not want that to happen, especially us, especially black. You know what I'm saying? You'll shout out to other races, but our generation, our race is the ones that's failing, okay? Our race is the one that's not coming up, not feeling success, praise God, we got successes, you know what I mean? But we're not building each other up enough as a community. And that's really what's the main substance for both of us. That's why we have a window open, how we move 18 Studios, where we can partner with other people, we can share with other people, we can give them a space and environment to help them develop
what are y'all doing to reach out to the community to bring people into 18 Studios?
Well, we connect with other partnerships, you know what I'm saying? We the Women of the Democratic Party, we first launched running what we did Juneteenth. We linked up with other partners to make sure that we started reaching out to the community, especially, you know, like I said, they already broke the ground running. I'm just coming home, so my whole substance are coming home.
Sorry, but how long has 18 Studios been open?
So the actual physical location has been open for a year now.
Celebrate
A
the
year and a
year.
couple of- yeah.
What's the give them the address?
Right. So the 18 Studios is located at 313A Vance Street in Clinton, North Carolina. So we have a media studio located within that building.
Yes.
We focus on live broadcasts, pre-recorded broadcasts. We record music, any kind of content creation. We can help you take your vision to reality, your dreams to reality in that studio.
Yes.
Okay, that's what's up. Let me just use for example. I mean, what do you think you could help the Broke Ass Podcast with? You know what I'm saying? Just like we're walking in, like, hey, we're interested in shooting a podcast.
Yeah.
What language? What would be step one?
Well, step one is definitely truly our brand, because walking in here, this is some broke.
Yeah, because this is a new light.
I'm proud.
Both of them.
I told you I'm proud because they got the lights.
I can't even see myself.
It don't look like no broke ass shit.
No, I told them they got nice lights and everything.
That was kind of
But what we
disrespectful,
can
but cool.
offer you is the space to come there and create. And I'll let Tamika elaborate a little bit on that of how we kind of give the space for you to come in and do your thing.
You see the look on my. I'm sure that the audience is like. But this is, first of all, I do want to say, like I said earlier, I started in my house.
Right.
I don't know if Pebbles even knows. I started a podcast called Before I Die.
No, I ain't know that.
What you say that
Yes.
about something? Excuse me.
So that podcast, I learned how to, create the podcast. I learned how to produce it. It is available on Anchor. It's available on all digital platforms, for you to download, so you can go listen to episodes 1 through, I think I did 1 through 10, so it was a whole season. But I kind of earned my chops, and I started in my home, in my living room, just like we're in this living room right now. And so when you talk about what we can offer you, I think it's the experience, the expertise of how to grow your brand, and also to put you on a more global scale. Because when our shows air, they not only air on social media, they air on the radio simultaneously and on TV. We have an Amazon Fire TV app and a Roku app. So everything airs at the same time. So we can help you grow your brand, make you more of a global name.
Before you got into any of this multimedia stuff, what were you doing? You say you got a degree in videography.
Well, actually, I have an undergrad degree in political science, so politics was my first love. And when I was part of the community, I was a Democratic Party chairwoman for 4.5 years, and then I stayed involved with politics for some time. After that, and during that time, maybe I should say, I am a licensed teacher, so I taught high school. And then I went back to school and got my master's in education, and I am a training and development manager today. So I actually develop courses for online. I teach leadership courses, technology courses. So all of those skill sets I just parlayed into things that I like to do. So this right here is kind of, I'm on my second wave of life, and it's just things I like to do. Just having fun with it.
That's what's up.
Goodness gracious, clap that up. You an overachiever. He said, oh, no. I haven't even finished yet. But no.
You know what? I hope that someone hears that and they
They
think
push forward.
push
Yeah.
forward to your
Sounds
goals
very
and your
promising.
dreams.
Yeah.
Yes, it's nothing about trying to be better than anyone or to outshine anyone. It's about making myself happy.
That part.
So if you're getting up every day and you're making yourself happy, your life is going to be much fuller and much happier.
I be trying to tell people that all the time.
Yeah, wake up.
You gotta
And
make
be
yourself
happy because you woke
first.
up. You gotta be happy because you
You
woke
can't
up.
be making other people happy and you ain't happy.
That
That's
part.
right.
That part.
So what does someone have to do? Artists, podcasts, engineers, whatever. What do they have to do like to become a part of 18? Because I already support the brand.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing
I ain't
that.
gonna know if I'm gonna support it after this because this one.
What are you talking about?
So
Green
think about this
screen,
for a
bro.
second.
Green, you doing her?
Green screen.
Yeah, green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna slice that joint around. Where that voice coming from?
We ain't that, bro.
Yeah, we ain't there.
Made her disappear.
I
I
said rich, right?
Okay.
I don't know. You put up in a bin. I put up in 100.
I ain't even looked outside.
I don't know.
Yeah, she in the bin.
So
I'm sorry.
importantly, we have to do business. So it's about looking at the opportunity when we partner. How can we help each other? So that's the very first thing.
So y'all don't sign. So when you say partner, it's like
It's an agreement.
It's an agreement, and so there are folks that we do sign to 810. Mostly that's going to be our musicians, our artists. When it comes to working with a partner in the other groups like yourself, the Broke Ass Podcast, we'll bring you on as a partner, and then we'll do a contract based on what you need us to help you do. So it all depends on what your
So you're not talking about like an hourly rate. When you saying a contract, you trying to manage the podcast or you trying to...
No.
So we have two.
I'm
So
just
you-
asking
You
questions.
can do the hourly rate, and then you maintain all.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Come down.
So you can do the hourly rate in which you maintain all of the
I'm
rights.
stuck right now.
You
She
can
made
do
me
the
switch the
hourly
seat on my
rate,
podcast.
which you maintain all the rights to your podcast. You maintain all the rights to your monetization. But if you sign a contract with us for us to manage your podcast, then you share your monetization. It's the difference.
Okay, so what can you bring to an artist? What are you gonna bring? Like,
What
hey,
bring?
if it's an artist that they want to sign with you, what's the incentive for them signing with you?
Well,
I'm
first-
talking artists only.
I got what you're saying for a second. First, we want to know where they at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists may already come with their own branding. They may already know how to register their music. So we make sure that you fill out the form first and we find out what your needs are. You know what I'm saying? And then we can find out where we fit in at. You know what I'm saying? You may only need us for shows. You might only need us to,
Y'all be booking shows too?
yeah, man.
Y'all true. I mean,
So what artists are y'all?
hey, yo, clap it up. Y'all
What
like-
artists are y'all currently working with
Not for Pebbles. We don't
in the local area?
That's okay. I clap for myself all the time.
Okay, can you repeat your question?
What artists are y'all currently working with in the local area?
Locally, we just signed the whole group of BRE. Clap up to
Hey,
BRE.
shout out
We
BRE.
had them on the fire.
We have Jerry Wright, J5. Clap up for him. He's kind of in all genres of music. He can do rap, R&B, and gospel. Shout out to Lee Rains. She is more of an a cappella person, but we pulled her in and working with some engineers and producer to bring her voice more to life. And also Big Six. You know, Big Six has been known in the North Carolina area for quite some time. Really doing it heavy in the industry in the 90s. He's an R&B singer, hip hop and R&B. And now we have signed him to redevelop his brand. So he don't need a lot of work. So he's one of those artists that already has been developed. He's just reproducing what he's already had.
Man, look,
So-
Big Six, I'm a fan. That
Yeah.
man, he got one of them soulful
He
voices,
does.
Jimmy.
Very soulful voice.
Yeah, bro. He on that old school type vibe, bro. He'll definitely mess with it. He'll
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
mess
each of our artists brings something different to the table, so we wanted to have a catalog, of individuals that anyone, producer, if it's when I say producer, if they're producing music or a movie or whatever area they're in.
Bro, y'all not putting out movies too. I gotta
That's what we're doing right now. We want to, and I've always been an advocate for independent local artists because they don't have a platform. So one of the things about 18 Studios, the original radio station, Soul Compass and That Is Hip Hop, they are part of a 26 sister group of stations. Mm-hmm. So once we receive the music, we then share it with our network, and they get more rotation.
So y'all get the streams up.
Yes, we get.
If
the
it's
streams
good
up.
music, you can't make bad music.
Well, right. but we are able to send their music out. They're able to get more spins. They're able to get royalties flowing, starting to get more into the industry. But it's a bigger picture. It's more work than I think people realize. So you got some folks that just want to stay local, and you got some folks that really want to get out there and make it happen.
So
and
that's
our goal.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So you would never sign like a artist and then just like take a percentage like the big labels do. They sign the art like Gucci sign people and
we
boost them.
Yeah, we do the percentage, but we give y'all the bigger percentage. So we take the lower end, we give y'all the higher end. So just say it's a 70-30 split. You get the 70, we're gonna take the 30. Mm-hmm. So that way, we are being fair. We letting people know we're not out here trying to get nobody. We just want to make sure we can support and help everybody as much as possible.
Now we do have contracts where some individuals invest in their brand because it's a business. Mm-hmm. Making music, being able to make that a career is a business. You get nothing for free. Yes. So it's very important that we folks who are watching this come away with the understanding that it does take money to make money.
Yeah.
Of course.
So there's some situations that we do, we'll do the percentage split. Like Pebbles said, they get the larger amount, we get the lower amount. But there are opportunities for everyone to work together. But those individuals have to also be willing to invest in their brand. Right, yeah. Because we can't promise, we're not a label. Yeah. So, we're a management company. So we can't bring you on and do everything. That's not a position that we want to be in anyway.
Okay, I just want to dive deep so people that are watching know, you know what I'm saying? They ain't about to say, yo, I'm going to walk up, I'm going to rap for you, and then you're going to sign me. No, it's not that type of deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what people be thinking when they hear record label. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I like the fact that y'all use the word partnership. Yeah. Which is great.
Partnership agreements, what I'm saying? We are agreeing to this ample amount of time that, we're going to work with each other. We'll revisit the table if it's working as it is, if it's not, it's not. Ain't no holds bars, but we want to be able to build great working relationships with people. That often takes time. It's not something you can do in a day or a month. It takes time to build working relationships with people. Everybody got different personalities.
Because more about relationships, it's trust too. Absolutely. You got to build trust within the relationship. Yeah. So, I applaud y'all for that because a lot of black women cannot get along. Like, it's a fact. I'm sorry.
That's what they say. This is why I hate that term when people say that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
But
no, women can't get along. How about
that? They say that, but at the same time, you have to be around like-minded women, right? When you're around like-minded women that's not hating on each other, I'm going to clap for her, on her next endeavor, she's going to clap for me on my next endeavor, we're going to support each other when we're down, if I got to lift her up, she's going to lift me up when I'm down. You have to have those type of relationships when it comes to women, and you can't be a woman of success and you're not reaching back from a woman that's behind you. I can say I've surrounded myself for the past, 26 years around nothing. I came from powerful women. You know what I'm saying? But when I was out in the world on my own, by the grace of God, He enlightened me around powerful women. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always around boss females, and that helps me elevate. You know what I mean? Like, nobody thought that I would have came out of anything when I left home. Nobody would have thought I would have made the successes that I've done. And I'm a battle with myself every day. So my competition is never with anybody else. It's always with myself. I'm a competition with Pebbles every day. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's I wanted to make sure I stay better and be better. But when you're around other women that wants that for you, it makes it the environment better. It makes if you're doing business together better, it makes relationships better when you can have conversations. And I call it courageous conversations. Sometimes you got to get rah.
I like that, the courageous part.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to get in there.
It's courageous conversations.
That's
Really help each other to
Yeah.
see from from a different vantage point, how to look at a situation, because we don't always see things the same way, but at least we're able to take out the most important pieces, and we're able to agree on how we're going to move forward. And you have to have that relationship. When I look at other women, especially the women in Sampson County, I don't see any competition. I see partnerships. I see friendships. I see the opportunity to help my sister get to the next level. Because, if I'm going to go to my next level, I got to help someone else get there. Someone help me.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to be out here acting like,
So you from Clinton?
I am from Clinton. Yep.
That's what made you, I was to say, what made you bring it in Clinton, or what made you keep it in Clinton and not have a office in Fayetteville, somewhere on Raleigh, and people like Clinton.
Because we need this here.
We don't know them people.
Every town that you go to, every small town, has a child, has a person that has a dream.
Yes.
And sometimes you can't get to, visualize what you want to do, or, you don't think it's possible if you don't see people doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we keep it here, keep it local, so that we can be an example to those individuals out there that need someone that they can look up to.
Yes.
And say, if they can do it, then I can do it.
Then I can do it too.
And the thing, Michael Boykin, I have to go ahead and give him a shout out, the Prince of Gospel. He's the one that actually brought me into the music industry and helped me get started. And he took us the first year to the Stellar Awards, and that was a big deal. That's the first time I ever seen movie stars, radio, people in radio, and these were big names, So being able to be in that environment and to see it, and it was real, then I want to help other people experience the same thing.
That's dope.
Yeah, so so I enjoyed it that much that hey, now it's regular life for me, and I want to help it make it regular life for other people.
Exactly.
So if somebody wanted to, come down there and maybe, make a song, and they had an idea or something, could they rent studio time or something like that?
Absolutely.
Yes, and our fees ain't even like that.
How much is it?
So our
So a lot of broke people that listen to this.
The studio fee starts the sitting fee to come in and actually use the studio is $25 an hour.
Oh, that's great.
Then all you have to do is pay your engineer. We have 3 engineers that work with us. They charge between $35 and $45, and we have someone that actually did that. Lee Raines, who was signed to us as an artist, it was just her goal to one day record. So we hooked her up with a producer. She recorded her first song. She performed it or debuted the song during the Christmas parade, and now her song is on all digital platforms. So that was what she wanted to do. We helped her realize that goal. She's from Clinton.
She's from Clinton. Yes.
Yep.
And my thing is, I was born in Clinton for one, but I was raised in New Jersey. But coming back and forth in the summertime, it was always hard for something to do. You know what I mean? And with Gilbert Bates, we did open mics and dance battles and stuff at the skating rink. And once I left young. I was like 23 when I left. When I left, and every time I would come home and give back, even those I know on the street be like, they ain't never gonna come here. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna come here to hear us. This is before all digital was out, you know what I'm saying, and stuff of that nature. But they would always tell me, Pav, you gotta do something because they're not gonna come to us and hear us. So as soon as I got into radio in DC, I started bringing artists that I would hear about from Sampson County, from Clinton, and bringing them to DC so they can get that out of life experience or whatever. So I'm hoping, not even hoping, I just know us coming home. Again, the picture is bigger than both of us. You know what I'm saying?
So let me elaborate on something, because I want to be very careful here. This is important for me. So I am not Hispanic, okay? But one of the things that I did many years ago is I learned Spanish, so I'm bilingual, and that is a part of me.
Overachiever, you are dope.
That is a part of me of who I am, and so the Spanish-speaking culture is important. They have a lot of traits, and so as she came home and she saw how they had grown, when you ask the question of why we keep our business here, we have to grow too. And I think as African Americans, learning about business, learning how to manage, our money, learning how to grow and scale a business. We're just learning how to work together.
Yeah.
That community has always worked together. And I've been working with them for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot. I've seen both white, I've seen both Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm taking all those things that I learned and I'm implementing them in my life and trying to make those connections with my community.
Yeah.
Because we do have to grow.
We have to.
We have to move past where, this crabs in a bucket mentality.
Yes.
Where we gotta start calling each other broke in the hood.
I say you're gonna be rich in a year.
But you know what's so crazy?
I'm like middle class. I'm not broke, bro.
I say
Shit.
you're gonna be rich in a year. I say in a year you're gonna be rich.
That's your brand, though. You have to
Yeah.
have a brand to hold on
That's
to
what
to
I'm
sell.
sticking to it.
You can
Nah,
live anywhere.
That's what I do on the podcast.
You can live anywhere and do anything, but you can sell your brand,
That brand.
and that's what's gonna make you and
Thank
actually
you.
get you where you want to be.
Exactly.
You stay true to who you are.
Stay
who your
true
brand
to
is.
stay true to
Yeah,
the
but
bullshit.
that's why I gotta get a pushback. I'm gonna
Hey,
stay
broke
true to that
ass
broke
is
shit.
just-
Ain't nobody doing that.
It's just a brand.
See the shirt my co-host got on? Come on.
No, but it is
Jimmy,
branded.
tell us
And,
something, man.
and we only saying that to say that if you have a name, you know what I'm saying, you gotta push that.
No, it's cool. I'm really
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I don't feel that type of way. It's
Yeah,
jokes,
yeah.
bro. Just
We know it's
but-
jokes. It sounds like you was getting
Over and
offended.
over
Yeah,
again.
it
That's
sounds
what
like
they
you
do
was
in the
offended.
Callback. Just call it
Just
callback.
call
So I gotta
back.
keep
And
calling back
everybody
and she
said,
said we're
yeah.
broken hood.
I mean, I
Because it's the broke ass podcast. You know what I'm
Yeah, you know.
saying?
That's what it is.
But we got bosses in the building though.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to wait for you to pull up. I was scared.
I tell you what, this joint better be. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you over here.
Ain't nothing gonna happen.
My key in my car right now.
I know how to shoot my face.
my key in the car right now. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't the street sign.
You know,
So y'all at Jennifer.
everybody was dark.
I just noticed that when I pulled
It was
up.
no street time.
Oh, how the hell they meeting us down?
Nah, bro,
already?
talking about broke. What kind of GPS y'all got, and how you don't get no signal in the
Well,
hood?
GPS told me where I was going, so
Her stopped in the middle of the dang on driveway.
I still
I
got
got
a city.
Metro.
I still got a city line. I still got a city
Okay.
line.
Love y'all. But you may forget me quick.
See, I'm broke. I can't even get Verizon. I'm still
It's
on
cool
Metro
because it's
PCS.
later. It's cool because it's later in the interview. But everything sounds like success. Can you share with us like some failures that you had, if any?
Yeah. I mean, failures. Success does not come without failures.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Anything you do, that's a goal, that's a mission. You have to try at it. You know what I'm saying? And only because it didn't work that first time doesn't say quit. Doesn't say give up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta try again, and dust yourself off and keep going. I just tell you a quick situation, just a success on my degree. I've been on my career for 18 years, and in education. A field that I never thought I would wanted this to happen to anyway, but because I have businesses, somebody seen my work and put me in that environment with no degree. But because once I got in the environment where there's a lot of politics in the school system, so I'm in an arena of people that's larger than me, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I always had the will to want to learn, and I wasn't afraid to sit in those arenas with those people so I can listen. You know, I have kids in this school environment, so I want to know what's happening in the school system and why is it happening, or how can it make it better. So I just started there. And once I got to a point, maybe about 6 years in my career, different people started gravitating to me. You know, principals was calling me different things. It was like, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. And I'm like, yeah, but I did it naturally. And with all the skill sets I had that I took along the way, just having different jobs, the CEO of our schools had this partnership with Walden University to start giving degrees to people like me that don't have a degree, but I'm a hard worker, I don't have no degree. And she said, you know what? She built the whole scholarship around me. She's built the whole scholarship. People could have went for teachers, could have went to get, you know, that type of thing to be in the school sector. She built just a business sector based off of me and my skill sets. So you can get your business management degree, you can get your communications and marketing degree, wherever you was at.
Oh, I ain't going to school.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying, but it was an opportunity to me because I didn't achieve what my grandparents always wanted for me at that time. They always wanted me to get my degree. I didn't get it, but the opportunity was to me, but I didn't have to pay for it. It was a free scholarship. So I did it, and it was a struggle, especially for someone like me. Got to get back in the books. It's been over 20-something years since I've been in the book, and it's online.
Oh, so you got your degree recently?
Yeah, I just got my degree in when was COVID? 2020.
Oh, shoot. That's what's up. That's what's up.
2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't know how much time y'all got. I don't know.
Well, I wanted to answer that question, about a time when I wasn't successful.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get so emotional about it. Even though I'm very decorated education-wise, there's one degree that I've always wanted, and that was to be a doctor of education. And I started pursuing that goal and really, trying to make it. And I want to share that story because sometimes we think that we know the answer or we know what God wants for us to do. But sometimes He knows better than we do.
Always.
And so I made it through the whole process. I got to what they call a comprehensive exam. And I've never been good. I'm a good writer, but not like excellent. And so I tried 3 times to pass that exam. Mm-hmm. I never could pass it so I could make it to my dissertation. And I think that put me in a place where I felt so low. That was one goal that I did not achieve. And yeah, I did. I felt very defeated. But one of the things, if there's somebody listening, just know that sometimes your path is supposed to go in another direction. It wasn't for me to go into the school system and become a principal, like I envisioned myself becoming. I guess it's God's will that I actually help others achieve their goals and their dreams. And, when I started 18 Studios, that's what we've been able to achieve. Starting with Pebbles. She did her first show, The Platform, but now we're running series and people are telling their stories, and we're looking forward to February to Black History Month, an event that we covered recently. We're going to run a series on all of that, and there's going to be some very powerful conversations with powerful people in North Carolina. Absolutely. So sometimes the path that we're on is not the path that God wants us to be on. So that was devastating for me, and I remember that time and just really feeling like I let myself down, let people down.
But that's
I learned
that's what they wanted you to be. You know what I'm saying? That's another
that's
thing.
What I wanted to be, but
it's what you wanted to be. But like you said,
it wasn't meant to be.
You have a bachelor's before you go for a doctorate.
I have a bachelor's.
So you already had the bachelor's. I told you over.
You just skipped straight to the doctor.
No, I just wanted to make sure the people that didn't know. I failed at a doctorate, but I had a bachelor's already. Look, I failed at that. Look, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's one of my biggest things. Of course, you got personal, things that you go through,
but that's the biggest things, though. A lot of times, I'm just saying this to young people, like, sometimes even as parents, we can get in our children's way. You know what I mean? What made me get out of my kids' way to allow them to be themselves in the world that they need to be in was there's something I read in the Bible as far as God listens to the heart of a child, right? So I have to start trusting in my children when they say, Mom, like when my son, he came to me and told me that he was about to do this dance thing. I'm like, well, you 13 and I don't have nobody to go with you, so I was blocking it. And he let me down in your eye. He's always been a respectful kid. And he was like, I love you. He was like, but I know this is something I need to do. I might not get my diploma right now, but when I come back, I'm going to get my diploma for you, right? I took a second to pray on it, and God said, let him go. I'm glad that I did, because I was held back from my career when I was young. If my family would have listened to me, I probably would have been in a higher place right now. You get what I'm saying? But we have a tendency to listen to what other people want us to do instead of allowing God to move the path, like, He wants us to. You get what I'm saying? So, this wouldn't have happened 18 Studios if I said, I'm not coming down here. Y'all ain't about to mess up my career, I'm not about to give up my, But once I started hearing God and He made it plain, that helped me make my decision. So, with that going forward, we know that God has ordained 18 Studios to do some good work here, and that's what we're gonna do. And we have, again, opportunities for both sectors. If you don't know, Soul Compass Radio is our gospel inspiration side. So we do have that side to reach our gospel and inspiration community, as well as that is hip hop side to reach our hip hop, R&B, and other genre community. We are looking to grow with other people, challenge cultural differences, but we can't, to me, if we don't start with our own and building our own people, what we're losing the people. And right now, it's more than ever. We don't know what this world is going to happen with these politicians and how things is moving is tricky. So, we have to make sure we standing strong. We got another generation coming behind us, our children, our grandchildren, you know what I'm saying? If we don't start getting invested into our own right now, we're going to lose the whole community. The whole community. So, that's our purpose and our goal, to uplift the next man and the next woman and make sure that we're getting where we need to be together, the promised land.
Trying to buy back the block like Big Rick Ross.
Yes.
We might end on that. I don't know how much time y'all got though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm good. It's however long we're supposed to go.
Yeah.
No, we ain't have no. We ain't say, that's one thing we didn't say no time.
No time.
No time. I mean, this is a good interview. I would say I'm proud of y'all. You know what I'm saying, for doing it. And like Tamika said, we thank you for even inviting us and thinking about us. And thank you for participating in our first anniversary party.
Oh yeah,
So, you know what I'm saying?
It was it. Free beer for 2 hours. I didn't even know it. I kept trying to pay the lady. Like, you can tell. Oh shoot, the right kind of
Well,
party.
sometimes you just want to,
Give back. It's
our
appreciation.
first year we
And there was
wanted to
Coronas
just
and
give back, and we provided the Summer Breeze event for Juneteenth and for back to school twice last year. But this year is going to be different. Summer Breeze will be a festival. It'll run over a 2-day period.
I'm sorry. Where y'all doing it at?
It's going to be back at Papa Pete's this year in August.
Just right down 421, right, still in the Clinton address.
Okay, I missed last year.
Yeah. But it's not deep in the country. I want to iterate that because people say, oh, that's deep. It's not deep in the country.
It's not in the hood.
And for the country people, it's not right in Clinton. So it's definitely right off of 421, just when you're just coming out of the city limits of Clinton.
And it's going to be a festival, but like concerts. Like,
yes.
Now we got to talk about that. So we can go 10 more
We ain't going to give it away because, we crab the girls. We're going to promote it. But we're going to put the information out. But right now, what we would like to promote is that February 25th, y'all can lock in that date. We're doing a Black History Honors where we're honoring some wonderful people in Sampson County that's actually doing a lot of groundwork, have been doing groundwork for years. We want to make sure they get honored. That probably people don't never really honor them, but they out here in the community doing the work. Then in March, we will be having a fashion show at the Civic Center, so make sure y'all lock in that date, which is March. Local, right at the Civic Center.
Local, and that event actually is for designers. It's a designers competition. So if someone's listening and you are a designer, you want to be seen. You want to possibly win some money.
Yes.
Please visit www.810studios.com. Register to participate and to show off your clothes because we need those designers. And then we'll also have some local folks who are creators and that are designers showing their pieces as well.
And when is that? February?
That's March 18th, Saturday, March 18th at the Civic Center in Clinton.
I got the Civic Center on lock. I got that bread. Well, yeah, come get the Civic Center. I see why you calling us broke. You right.
No.
No.
They ran out the Civic Center for 2 months.
That happens with sponsors. That's a deal sponsor. Y'all work.
Well, it's sponsored.
Yeah, so
we don't teach you how.
Don't worry about it. We live. You gonna make it home. It's cool. You got like somebody outside. No, let me stop.
What we would like to do though,
Stop it.
we want to make sure that everyone knows that 810 Studios, we're a content creation company. That's our job. So we want to come out and see you. We want to cover your event. If you need red carpet service, interviews, if you need us to come out, provide, what can I say? Event planning, 360 booths,
whatever you wake up and think of. Call 810. Whatever you want to do.
We are the one-stop shop.
You need some bouncy houses? You need some bouncy houses? Call them. They got it.
Popcorn machine,
They about their business.
bartending, catering.
Everybody right there.
Shout out to 910 Party Rentals.
That's our new partner.
Yeah,
A-Town.
They're out of Turkey.
But most events that
they do, and then so between our partnerships, between the skill sets that we have, we could be a one-stop shop for anyone looking to put on an event. or if you need marketing, advertising, we provide that in-house as well.
They starting a car service and car rental business next month.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? 810 drive. So everybody that ain't got no car in Clinton.
You need your legs right?
Don't leave it to us. It'll probably be part of our service.
But we got everything. But that's dope
we're
for the
gonna
city,
partner
though.
with someone that can do it for you.
It
We'll
really
be
is
little
dope for the
black
city.
kids.
And I appreciate y'all just for doing it for the city. Yo. I appreciate it.
No
You know
doubt,
what I'm
no
saying? And I want y'all to go ahead and tell everybody everywhere they can hear everything you do on the podcast. I know y'all got the Roku channel, but I want y'all to tell them because I might forget something.
Yeah.
So first of all, 18 is a media network. So you can find us on all social media platforms: Facebook,
810.
Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. But then you can also find us on your Roku set or your Amazon Fire under 18 Studios, or you can download our apps. We have Soul Compass Radio app and Dad's Hip Hop app, so you can download those and you can listen and you can see what's going on with us. You can also subscribe to our newsletter, by visiting our website at www.18studios.com, or just inbox us and we'll put your email on the list so that you can stay in tune with what we're doing. That newsletter will eventually become a publication. Yes. So if you are a writer, if you're someone that wants to get into journalism, eventually you'll be able to give us a call and we'll be able to work with you.
Malcolm Jamal.
So we're looking forward to being a part of the threads of our community and beyond. So if you have questions, like I said, you can inbox us, let us know.
Now artists can submit music to be played on the radio.
Yes, they can. Any communication.
And it's the It's Radio. It's spelled weird.
That is DATITZ. Hip hop. DATITZ hip hop.
And they are consistent with other radio stations. So submit your music and.
So it's good for us to operate for Global Network. I have to let people know all the time. It's just not for North Carolina. We have linked up with podcasts from Miami. Shout out to
Miss Quinetta, Apostle Q.
Yes, Apostle Q. Diamonds in the Rough International Podcast. We also have 95 South Podcast. They're based out of Georgia as well as South Carolina, as well as 910 Sports. They're based out of Atlanta. And then as far as our artists right here have been locally, with those that we signed. Again, we like to shout out Lee Rains, Big Six, Jerry Wright, J5, now BRE, the whole BRE family label. And then we're just growing from there. We just partnership, like we said, with 910 Party Rentals. So we on a different scale. We've linked up with Michelle Cooper, to get this Black History Month show going. There's other pastors in the community that we're linking up with too, where we host their events. We did a field at New Year's Eve events, and we got events coming up now just to make it make it great, make it better. Any way that we can assist your event to make it the most phenomenal success ever, or something that you will always remember, where your people could say, oh, I came and I had a good time and I enjoyed myself and it was dope. Then that's what we're doing. We definitely want to reach all of us to Black excellence. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, we definitely want to make sure that our people are growing, what I'm saying? So
what's up?
I know we ending, but this is just a question for me. Not even, how many people y'all got on y'all staff? Bro, y'all do everything.
Well, that's another thing, right now we have there's 4 of us. It was only me and Tamika for the past year, and getting crazy with everything. Things just coming at us.
Thank y'all for coming,
and we thank God. God has blessed us with some volunteers that will step in, where they can.
I'll be a volunteer if you need something.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank
you.
you. Well, right now we have Miss Jaleesa Brunson. She is our assistant.
I went to high school with her. Shout out.
And Niger Peterson, who actually has a show on 18. It's called Inspirations with Niger.
Yes.
And so they're both assisting us with managing our calendars, content creation.
Piss me off.
Yeah.
Well, my bad. That was the side brain. But I gotta, since y'all here, both of y'all, I have to shout out. We end the podcast by giving shout outs. So everybody gotta go through and give a shout out. So I'm gonna shout out Miss Ambry, because both of y'all, I grew up across the street from Miss Ambry. She had a hand in like raising me and stuff. Like right across the street, my grandma used to stay there. I know Miss Ambry owned the store. She used to let my grandma get credit from the store, all of that type of stuff. Her and Mr. Clarence, there was some good people, and like there was some good people.
Some good stuff.
I stole from that. It was just more. It made me not ever do it again because he was just more hurt.
He made you feel bad.
He was more hurt than anything. Like, come on, do this. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, there was good people, man. Before you choke me up, let me finish my statement.
You know, my granddaddy is special to me. But I mean, that's awesome. I thank God for them, for being the pillars that they have been. You know what I'm saying? I thank God I came from, you know, crack addicted parents, and for them to have stepped in my life, to be able to give me that guidance, you know what I'm saying? Something that I could carry on and look up to and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? They was always hard workers. They came from nothing themselves. They, you know, my grandmother came from Waycross, my grandfather came from Ingo. And so they was always hard workers, you know what I'm saying? They all migrated. If y'all don't know y'all history, where your people come from, you know, a lot of them got together when they graduated from Clinton and Sampson County. And they all went up north, and people had located in different places, stuff like that, to make it better for their families. And I would hear how they would save money and send it back home, because they would always have 13, 14, 15 brothers and sisters. And they wanted to make sure that they, you know, to help their parents out as much as possible, something that we don't do much of today. But those are the things that they did, and they always, once they retired, wanted to come back to their community and help their people. And that's what they did when they retired and opened the stores for old people, really to be able to get, that can't get to town. That's really why they made the store, for the people in the community that can't get uptown. So they have a little grocery store, the convenience store right then, where people can come, congregate, eat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they didn't even let people pay. So you stealing was probably, he must have had some high standards on you.
He was looking right at me when I was doing it.
And he knew he was going to get it.
He knew I was going to steal it. It was some Skittles or something.
Yeah,
It was stuff like, but you got to remember, I'm like 5, 6.
Exactly. No, but he knew he was going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing with that is, my grandfather, like, my grandmother's stern and strict.
I got some stories. I got a bunch of stories.
My grandfather's stern and strict, but my grandfather, he was stern, but he had a heart of gold. Like, he might play with you, say what he got to say with you, but you can have that Skittles. He just has so much of the heart of gold that, you know, that he had for other people, that I just can't even speak on it. That's what carried me all the time. That's why I try to treat people as good as possible, because he showed me that. He showed me that love, and only because, you know what I'm saying, you just as good as the next person. You know what I'm saying? They may have more than you, they may have less than you, but you treat people with love and the same.
Shout out.
That was a shout out. You spoke about my grandfather. You should have never brought him up.
Shout out.
Shoot, I love that man. You should have never, hey, I shut him up. Rest in peace, granddad.
I love you too, my granddad.
Shout out, Mr. Clarence.
I love that man, though. I love that man. That was my very best friend. My very best friend. Yes. But I would like to shout out.
Oh, that was a shout out. That's it. That's it. It's my turn.
He made me all sentimental.
No, that's it. That's it.
Very
Hey,
sentimental.
we got heard enough from you today. Dang.
Get it, Jimmy.
Shit.
Not cuss. We supposed to not cuss. We did good. We only did 3 cuss words, not counting the title. I'm leaving that part in too. It's gonna be
Oh,
fun.
God, hey. I'd like to give you a shout out for coming and being so hospitable, even though it's our house. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't push me.
I mean, I'm really small, so I didn't hurt.
Don't push me.
Can you even feel it?
The bone. I felt the bone.
But she was like one of the, like, bro.
Sits in the over
I ain't even smoking a cigarette on podcast, or they gonna cuss. I cuss
Well,
one.
that's, thank
See,
you.
we done
Thank you
changed
for
the
that.
environment
Yeah.
already.
So have you given your shout out?
Yeah, I'm just giving you a shout out.
Oh.
I just appreciate you coming. It was
Thank you.
really good to meet you for the second time. I feel like I know you from somewhere, but we'll figure that out later.
You know a cousin.
Yeah.
Cool. Shut up.
Go
So
ahead.
you
Shaq.
like?
I gave my shout out.
Okay, so it's time for me to give my shout out?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I want to shout out 2 wonderful people. Really, I wish I had to do 3. But Miss Brenda Faison and Miss Lee Bryan, those are my ace boom coons. They are ladies that have help me through a lot of things in life, and they give me a lot of guidance. So I just want to shout them out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I'm at in some instances if it wasn't for those two ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sneak and say Miss Marion Pope, who's my mom.
Shout out,
Mama.
Mama Pope.
Yeah, Mama D. And, she keeps me straight. So thank y'all for allowing us to come and be a part of your podcast.
Yes, thank you.
We
Thank
really
y'all for coming
appreciate
to
it.
the
We
hood.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thank y'all for
coming to the
everything y'all
hood.
doing for the community.
Definitely.
So we
most
need it.
definitely.
No doubt.
Everybody clap it up, man. Y'all doing a lot. Y'all doing a lot, man. Clap it up.
Made me tired just hearing it.
That shit's like, dang. I be
got a
tired. I
normal.
think
I ain't got a normal job.
I had a nudge him.
We do have normal jobs.
Yeah, we do have normal
We both
jobs.
have careers.
Whoa!
We both have careers.
We both work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
We